Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Inside the Mirror podcast. This is episode 99 and a half, 99.5. And let me explain. This week was going to be episode 100 of the podcast. My father and I recorded an episode, came out great, other than the fact that my audio was jacked. This is the second time I've jacked up audio recently. I got to pay better attention, but my dad's audio was great. My audio did not come out great. So I fixed it, but we have to re-record the episode and my dad will be out of town. So the episode 100 episode, holding my plans loosely. My plan was to do episode 99 and then obviously then do episode 100. And that didn't happen. So 99 and a half because 100 is still coming next. But you have to, this happens in life. Things happen. The audio goes bad. You get a flat tire, jobs change, etc. Things change, things happen in life, and you have to be willing to pivot and just pivot is the word I'm going to use. Be able to pivot and move from this to that when things change. That's just part of life. So, this quick half episode is just about that. Is holding your plans loosely. Here's the thing: you need to have plans in life. You need to be fully committed to those plans while at the same time understanding that anything could change. Things could change. If 2020 didn't teach you anything, it's that things can change in an instant, right? And you can't control that. It goes back to the idea of controlling what you can control. The serenity prayer, right? God grant me serenity, except things I cannot change the things I can and have the wisdom of no difference, right? So change the things you can't, controlling what you can control. Just like 2020 taught us, you can't control a whole lot, right? You can't control the government, you can't control the people, you can't control viruses, et cetera, et cetera. Those types of situations are going to happen in life. And so again, we were all fully committed to something in 2020, shook all of our plans in some way. I guarantee it. And so in your own life, there's going to be other things that you're fully committed to a plan and something's going to happen, right? Again, there's going to be a breakup, something happens, unexpected job change, again, et cetera, whatever that thing may be. You have to be fully committed to where you're headed, but also at the same time understand that things could change at any moment. And I think that the most important thing is to try to remain as unemotional as you can when things change and just flip to, okay, what can I do? What should I do? What can I do? Right. This podcast, when I first found out the audio on this podcast did not come out the way I wanted it to, I was upset. I was frustrated for a bit. But I reached out and I talked to my brother and I had it. We processed. He listened to a clip of it and was kind of gave me his opinion. I brought in my dad. So I immediately went like, what can we do? My brother it was helped me think through what can we do? What are the options? So I quickly went from the problem to the solution. And that's the thing when you hold your plans more loosely in life, being fully committed to them, but knowing things could change in the instant. When things do change, you have to have a process, right? And the process, the most practical, logical process would be to try to remain as unemotional as possible, process with others to what's the next thing, what should I pivot to, what's the next thing I can do, and then execute on that. So I very quickly, within a few minutes of processing with my brother, realized I wanted to just re-record it, just redo it, re-record it. Let's not take a bunch of time. Let's not try to edit this. Let's just re-record it, right? Figure out the issues, fix the issues, re-record it. Because I couldn't, it was almost impossible to fix the audio. So what's next, right? Fix the issue that caused that, then re-record it. That's my options, right? That's the best plan moving forward, is to not dwell on this for very long. I just found out the other day, and here I am recording the half episode as we wait for episode 100. So that being said, I had a tight plan. I was committed to that plan. I record episodes weekly. Obviously, I was committed to episode 100 coming out this next week, and something changed. I jacked up the audio. So here we are. And but I pivoted quickly. I processed and then I pivoted. Maybe you want to put some P's in there, process, then pivot. Problem, process, pivot, right? There's a problem, process the problem, then pivot. What's next? Because again, going back to, you got to hold your plans loosely. Things are always going to happen. Some plans are going to go well, many of them are not, and you're going to have to pivot and just take action moving forward. But identify the problem quickly, process it quickly, pivot. That would be my 3 P's. My dad's a pastor, and he goes with, acronyms and the seven S's of salvation, or, well, this is the three P's for pivoting from problems. Identify the problem, process the problem, pivot from the problem. That's the preacher in me. That's the sermon for the day. So, and when you have obviously, again, stay committed to your plans, but just know that things can change. And then have those 3 P's in place of, okay, clearly understand the problem, process the problem, and then pivot from the problem. If you have that in place, so you're ready when things don't go according to plan, work your process, keep moving, right? Life gets easier. Things become less stressful when things do change, because you're like, I knew things were going to change, right? Like, I'm ready, but I have my process. I got the 3 P's in place. So I took it from Kyle. And so royalty is my way at some point. No, but I hope that's helpful. And I just wanted to express that, because this is where we're at with the podcast, is that this week we're getting episode 99 and a half. And next week, I hope the anticipation builds, because Saturday we're re-recording episode 100. And next week, episode 100 will be out, and it's going to be phenomenal, because we're just going to do what we did the first time, even better. So that's my commitment to you. That's my promise to you. I hope this was helpful. I hope this helps somebody. You got to hold your plans loosely and be ready to pivot when things change, when things happen. Again, 2020 showed us that things can change so massively, so quickly. And you have to just have something in place, a system in place to go, okay, things are changing. What's my process? And hopefully your process is now the 3 P's. Identify the problem, process the problem, pivot from the problem. Identify the problem, process the problem, pivot from the problem. If you can do those things, you'll probably be set up well for when things don't go as planned in life. So I love you guys. Episode 100 coming next week. Thank you for bearing with me and sticking with me through 99 and a half. I hope this was a solid one. It happened for a reason. Somebody probably needed to hear this. If it wasn't one of you, it's probably me. I just needed to remember how to deal with problems as they arise quickly. So love you guys. Thank you guys for listening. I'll be back next week with episode 100 of Inside the Mirror podcast. Adios.